One greeting from the high end. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I'd like to bring you some information from The Hill. I'll be bringing you two sources of information, The Hill and Fox News, and this is pertaining to the impeachment of Mr. Trump. The House impeaches Trump for a second time with some GOP support. I will not be reading all of said information. You can verify it for yourself. It's in The Hill. It's just uploaded. This is a sad day in America that this even has to happen once again, but it is what it is. House impeaches Trump for a second time with some GOP support. House lawmakers on Wednesday impeached President Trump for his role in last week's deadly attack on the U.S. Capitol, capping an extraordinary week of violence, apprehension, and partisan brawling in Congress, just as Washington cranks up security and preparations for Joe Biden's inauguration just a week away. The 232 to 197 vote was historic. It made Trump the first president in the country's history to be impeached twice. And unlike the first debate, this time the president's Democratic critics had support across the aisle. 10 Republicans joined every voting Democrat to approve the single impeachment article, which accuses Trump of inciting violence against the same federal government he leads. Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat of California, who oversaw both impeachment efforts, said Trump's refusal to concede his election defeat and his subsequent efforts to rally supporters to the Capitol to overturn the election results amounted to sedition. The president, she said, gave Congress no choice. We know we experienced the insurrection and violated the sanctity of the people's capital, Pelosi said in a floor speech before the vote. And we know that the President of the United States incited this insurrection, this armed rebellion against our country. He must go, she added. He is a clear and present danger to the nation that we all love. And it goes on from there, and it gives you all the people who rallied and gave their commentary, for this vote to impeach Mr. President for a second time. The next article I'm going to bring to you is by Fox, and it's just a bit of information pertaining to the process and when they would convene the Senate to take a vote to impeach Mr. Number 45. Verification is Fox News. Senate won't reconvene early to start impeachment trial before Trump leaves office, McConnell's spokesman. Democrat Representative Jim McGovern had said McConnell could bring the Senate back immediately. With President Trump likely set on Wednesday to become the only president ever impeached twice, Democrats were pressuring Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican of Kentucky, to invoke a 2004 resolution that could bring the Senate back quickly for what would essentially be an emergency session to begin the impeachment trial as soon as possible. But McConnell's office said Wednesday that it will not invoke the resolution, meaning that any impeachment trial almost certainly will not start until Trump has left office. So basically, that means McConnell is not going to refer to the 2004 resolution where they could step in and pass a vote to go ahead and meet to start the trial of Mr. Number 45. McConnell, Republican, Kentucky, issued a memo to Republican senators earlier this week saying that the Senate would not be able to reconvene for business until January 19th without the consent of all 100 senators. This would mean in effect that the earliest an impeachment trial for Trump could begin at 1 p.m. on January 20th, an hour after President-elect Biden is inaugurated. It's almost certain that Trump loyalist senators object to bringing the Senate back early. But a senior Democratic aide said earlier this week that Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat New York, was exploring the possibility that a 2004 resolution gives the two-party leaders in the Senate the authority to call the Senate back into session. This would mean that Schumer would only have to convince McConnell to bring the Senate back. And I'm going to leave it there. But as you see, Trump, in his pass in the House for the second time, to impeach Mr. Trump. We have an upcoming inauguration of Mr. Biden. I don't know how this would work, the meeting an hour after inauguration, because I would assume some of the people who are in favor of Mr. Biden would want to be meeting and greeting and celebrating. And I think it's a travesty to what happened last week on Capitol Hill. But as I say, it's to be expected, the behavior of these people, because there are people who rally behind him, people who are following in behind him, people voted for him, and you still have citizens who would vote for him again. And that is the very reason you had the devastation last week up there. You had security on camera, on videos that went viral, showing a man opening the little TikTok gate to let the protesters into the area leading to the Capitol building. And these said people are vile. That security officer is vile, and I'm praying he's fired, and anyone else that aided those people to go into that building, break into that building, they need to also be brought up on charges. All these people need to be arrested. Anybody posting any type of information on the internet needs to be arrested. They need to go to damn jail. And these are the same people who are always pretending to be right fighters, Christian, criticizing Black Lives Matter, anybody that's protesting anything for the preservation of life. These people do what they want. They think how they want, and they do what they want, and they did what they want. And rather, Trump said, hey, come up here, rally up here. These people had the mindset to go anyway. But you see, this man has no respect for people. And these said folks who ran up there, breaking into that government building, have no respect for themselves. They don't have respect for the law. They don't have respect for others. And they are vile. And there was a child who was barricaded in a room with one of the lawmakers up there. So it shows you, you all didn't know that. And now that child is probably petrified to ever go back to the Capitol building with her father, because she was up in one of those rooms, barricaded. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? You see, there's no respect for people, period. And as I've told you all 1,000 times, same people who cry and moan about this and that and gun rights and this and that, and I'm a Christian and I want to do what I want, I don't want to wear a mask. These are the same people who broke into that damn federal building. Those same people. The same people who cry about Black Lives Matter. The same people who spew venom about blacks and Jews and Mexicans. The same ones who talk ill about Democrats. The same ones who went up in that building and broke the law and lost their lives. And you chose that fate. And as they say in the street, you play childish games, you win childish prizes. And anybody that went breaking the law willingly, you deserve whatever came to you. So you chose death on that day by running your ass up there to that Capitol building. And you didn't have no respect for yourself. You didn't care about your friends, your family. You didn't care about other civilians. You didn't have no respect for the legal process that was rendered for Mr. Biden as the president-elect. You didn't care about that building. And you didn't care about the people who worked there. And you didn't care about the people who were in the building. You did not care. And Mr. McConnell, I don't know what your problem is, why you need to think about anything. You basically already letting people know you still ride or die for Mr. Trump. Nobody should have to force your hand or beg you to make a decision to meet, to start this trial. And as one person said, it won't even really matter if you have a trial or not. If he's legally impeached, there will still be 40-something% of the population who rally behind Mr. Trump, believe in his thought process because they think just like him. And that's what happened last week at the Capitol. You have people with a dirty mindset, and they're hypocrites, and they are selfish, and they do not care about anybody but themselves. They're nothing but whining crybabies who spew venom every day on the social network, internet, crying and moaning about this and that, how America should be. Well, I always remember, America was built on thievery. And I keep telling people, she will never be right because she was built on thievery, enslavement of others. So she did not come about rightfully. There were already inhabitants here when a group of people considered themselves settling on the soil. And they moved those inhabitants out, the Indians. Yeah, I'm going there. And they decided to go to another land, Africa, and steal a man and woman and sell them to the highest bidder and made them work for free to build this great country that you all call America. So you see, the earth is giving back everything that was stolen. from it, America. So America won't be so great. Because how can a place be great when it was built on lies and thievery and rape, coercion, mischief? There's no way it could be great. There's no way it could be great. And this country will continue to be divided because you have people who have an ignorant mindset and they think they are better than others, and they think because of their skin color that they way higher in favor. But you see, God disagrees. And that's the one you really should be concerned with, is what the higher power thinks. Because your opinion doesn't matter. Because you are an empty vessel, floating on top of this dirt, miserable as hell, and it shows. And you all proved that when you invaded that federal property last week on Capitol Hill. Like, share, subscribe, drop the comments below. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Join me later for a live. I will be discussing the missing boys out of California City. Good night.